Now we're recording. All right. Couple of things on this presentation. I've said it before, we are obviously in a market rebalance, and we have seen some pretty good changes in some areas in September to October. For those of you that want to see it, there are 5 copies of this printed out. We have redesigned the way that it looks to try and make it easier for you guys to get it in front of your sellers. So that is there for you guys to print out. I'll email it out to everybody. For those of you that haven't been paying attention, price reductions are at an all-time high right now, or not an all-time, but that are very, very high. Lori, what was the numbers that we, 17 price reductions, average of? Yeah. $35,000 is the average.
That was just lakefront.
Lakefront, I'm sorry. That, well, yeah, so average lakefront price reduction right now is $35,000. So again, pretty good price reductions. I showed a house last week, a couple weeks ago, had a $100,000 price reduction. It's at $575 all the way down to $475 in one swoop. So we are seeing price reductions. This information that I'm presenting here today is a tool for you guys to use to make sure your sellers understand what's happening in the market. One of our new agents, Crystal, who she's not here today, she was talking to a seller yesterday. She got the listing. The seller originally wanted to go $399. She called him up and was like, hey, comps do not support that price, and got him basically to come down to $330 to list. So again, that's a pretty significant drop, but again, it's realistic. We know their motivation is we got to get out of here fast. So again, on the pendulum of things, if they want to sell fast, price has to come down. If they want the most amount of money for their house, time goes up. Those are kind of the ebbs and flows of that. So make sure you're understanding that concept. So, so again, what you're seeing here is Q1 to Q2, and again, we've slimmed this down just to make it a quick blip so you know what's going on. Q1, 48% cash transactions. In October, 46%. So again, we're still heavily involved in cash transactions. That part has not significantly changed. 1,089 total, 1,185 total. So again, we are seeing cash deals happen. That's good. Use this though when you have that cash buyer that says, well, I'm cash, so I can offer $50,000 less and obviously win because I'm special. Not really. If I flip a coin, one of them is cash and the other one is financing. So the idea that cash is super special right now, a little bit of a myth. So again, make sure you can educate your buyers, not that brutally. I mean, but be nice with it. But ultimately, cash is still something that is flowing through the county. Again, you can see sales volume Q1, 309, 354 Q2. So we had a 15% increase. The median price was 245, and then it went to 260, 6% increase. Days on market started with 27 days in Q1 and went to 21 days in Q2. So again, Q1 to Q2, everything was still on the up and up. We basically saw sales volume increase, median price increase, days on market decrease. Q2 to Q3, cash transactions 46%. Cash transactions, 49%. So again, we're still very, very close. It went down a little bit, number of transactions, instead of 1185 down to 933. Sales volume, 354 to 284. 20% decrease, Q2 to Q3. Median price, however, still went up. 2% increase. Days on market, 14% change, wasn't a drastic change again, 21 days to 24 days. So, when we project this stuff out again, trending, we've seen the numbers shift. 700 projected closings. So again, 985 down to 700. We are trending downward here. We're not, the floor hasn't opened up, it hasn't crashed or anything like that, but we are seeing a 25% reduction in closings.
Wait, what's the normal seasonal change in any year? Does it change? Go up?
So I don't have it across the county. I know obviously in our office alone, typically we see September, October, November, that section be a little bit of a slowdown between 15 and 20%. Couple of factors, guys, to remember here. October was not a great month for the office. However, we also had a hurricane the month prior. So that obviously affects closings, prospectings, getting listings, all of that stuff. And again, in our market, things are typically not the next day. It's 30 or 45 days, depending on cash or financing deals. So we had a hurricane. That affected October's numbers. So again, the floor isn't opening up. We're not seeing a market crash. We're seeing a rebalance. Again, good numbers to know. And Elias, did you have a question or something?
Well, Jim said something to me about like 6 months.
If you're going to talk, you got to step up.
Jim said something to me about 6 months ago. He says, you know, your current month is what you were doing 60 to 90 days ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the market's kind of the same way.
Yep.
You know?
That's when it shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we did 30, 60, 90 days ago is what we're seeing as far as paychecks right now. And again, if the days on market increases, then it goes from 30 to 60, 60 to 90, so on and so forth. As far as us, Century 21, 36 out of 290 closings as of November 7th are things we do. So we hold basically a 12% market share in the county. These are good numbers to know to explain to people. No other brokerage has a market share that high across the board. And again, if we pinpoint specific locations, we have higher, low. I mean, we're 1 in 4 in Floral City. We have our hand in 1 out of 4. 25% of the deals that happen, we have a hand in, whether we're representing the buyer or we have the listing.
Well, in Lecanto, I think we're at like 22%. So like
Yeah, Lecanto as well, we are very high in market share. Year to date, 147 out of the 2 billion, 147 million out of 2 billion, so 7.3% of the sales volume is done through this office. That's again countywide out of $2 billion. Now we've broken it up into obviously city by city still. We wanted to show this. September, 61 total cash transactions. October, 64. So again, cash transactions in Inverness are still happening. Sales volume, 16 million in September, 16 million in October. Not a big shift in Inverness. Inverness stayed very steady, very strong. Median price did decrease a little bit. Days on market did increase a little bit, but all within the norm. Again, nothing crazy here. Floral City, again, we do very well in Floral City. There's just not a whole lot of transactions that happen, but 2.6 million to 3 million September to October. Transactions, see again, 11 to 10. Pretty much stayed very, very similar in Floral City from September to October. Hernando, 27 deals that were cash, 30 deals that were cash again. In September, it was 70% of the market.
it's 30 deals total, and then 57% of that is
Are cash. Yeah, sorry, I should probably explain that. Yeah, so this is the percentage of cash deals overall. This is the percentage of deals cash overall in October. So we see a little bit of a decrease in cash transactions in Hernando. However, sales volume, very, very close. Median price, very, very close. Days on market actually went down a little bit. Here's where we see some impacts here. So ultimately, cash percentage-wise went up, but we went from 66 deals down to 48 deals, cash transactions. Sales volume, 19.8 million down to 13.5. So again, Lecanto Beverly Hills area had a 32% change. So for those of you that are focusing on the Lecanto Beverly Hills area and are coming to me and saying, man, I have no business, we all felt it. The office felt it. The county felt it. We all felt it. Now, again, if you're focused on that area, and I just showed you what Inverness and Floral City is doing, maybe you want to shift a little bit and say, hey, I want to get where the things are still going good, where I didn't feel a 32% decrease in my business. Again, days on market, stayed relatively the same. Crystal River, pretty solid numbers still. Again, number of transactions almost stayed the same. We're about 50% cash. 10 million sales volume, 10 million sales volume. Median price went up a little bit. Days on market stayed the same. So Crystal River again stayed pretty solid. One thing to remember too, and I know this is like trending a little bit off. When these numbers are pulled directly from MLS, so this is all of Inverness, not just the city limits. This is all of Crystal River, not just the city limits. So you guys understand, obviously, if we're just pulling city limits, all of these numbers drastically change and go down because there's much less market there. Homosassa had a pretty significant decrease as well. So again, for those of you guys that are just focused on the Homosassa area and you guys felt a 25% reduction, so did the entire county, the office, so on and so forth. 62 total cash transactions, 44 total cash transactions. Only 36% of the deals in Homosassa were cash. So again, a couple things to think about there. If you have a seller that's still holding out on cash conventional only and it's not selling, try and open up the doors. Hey, let's try and see if we can get FHA, VA, USDA in there. We had Sean here the other week. He has done an excellent job on the VA side. He's also a whiz on USDA deals. So if you guys are thinking, I don't know if this house will go, give him a call and explain why you think it's not maybe going to go. Tom had a deal. It's FHA, right? McCall's FHA?
US.
Or USDA. There's some things that need to get fixed. I mean, there's peeling paint and things like that. But it seems like we have a resolution to where we can make it go USDA. So again, one that maybe would have gotten written off in the past, we think we can get it go. Knock on wood, we're not there yet, but we think we have a way to get through everything. Yes, sir.
I see this one, we see the volume of the selling slow down because the price be going up. You see like 249, that's why slow down.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, across the board, there are many factors that are going to play into this. One, obviously, we had absolutely insane price increases month over month for the last 18 months, and again, at some point that's got to stop. We're going to price everybody out of this county. So that is for sure a factor. Obviously, we have things like elections going on that play a role, gas prices, interest rates. I mean, there's all these factors. Now, one thing I want to remind you guys of is how many of those can you control? That many. So are we going to really, really try hard to change those? No. I want you guys to go prospect. I want you guys to use this information. Continue to do what you have control over. I can't control the interest rates as much as I want to. I can help educate people that, hey, a 7% interest rate is actually a pretty normal interest rate across the grand scheme of things.
You know what I was thinking would help? Because a lot of customers have been asking questions about interest rates and, could we have like a document that maybe we can do like a historical interest rate for the last, say, whatever, how many years, and then show that it's normal. So it's like an education piece when you're sitting in front of a buyer.
Yeah.
That might be great.
I think I sent one out a couple weeks ago, or maybe even last month's sales meeting. It was a 30-year one. And you guys remember 7.5%, 8% was literally the historical average. And yes, this is what it did. Whee! Right? Some people remember 18 to 20% interest rates. Thankfully, I do not, so I have no idea what that's like. But that was a thing at some point in time, too. So again, a lot of us have short-term memory, and yes, for buyers right now, it does suck that they could have got a 3% last year, and now they have a 7%. On the flip side, 7% at list price or 3% at $50,000 over list price, because that's what you needed to do 6, 8, 10, 12 months ago to win a deal, they probably balance out pretty well. When you amortize it out, that extra 4%, probably around $50,000 on your $400,000 or $500,000 loan.
Was inventory considered in that fluctuation from median September to October?
Talking about this price change?
Like just overall?
These are closed sales.
Okay, but I'm saying like the inventory that there were, like how do you think that would apply to this as far as current inventory?
Well, I would say obviously this is what created a supply growth. So again, we're talking about supply and demand. When this price got to this point, less buyers were interested in buying, again, with that interest rate increase. So supply went up. We have more listings than we have had in the last 2 years currently active. And then again, demand fell. So that could be a direct correlation or cause to a supply demand chain. What you're going to see though is this continues to go up. At some point it's going to crest. And like I said earlier, right now price reductions are happening a lot. And there's a lot of them. So that's going to bring this number back down. Our median price will continue to decrease, which it already is. Citrus Springs went from 33 cash deals to 25, 33% to 24, went from 8.5 million to 7.5 million. So again, $1 million decrease. Median prices stayed pretty similar, but days on market went from 20 to 39 days there. So almost 100%, almost a double in days on market across the board in Citrus Springs. So for those of you that have Citrus Springs listings and your seller is like, Luana, why didn't it sell? Why didn't it sell? Why didn't it sell? No, days on market have doubled. So again, when the seller says things like, hey, I need to sell my Citrus Springs house in like 10 days. My answer is going to be, okay, the current average days on market is 39 days. So we really got to work on that price if you need to be sold in 10 days. Right? So again, we slimmed down the vacant land one. We figured we didn't need to do all of that for vacant land, but just so you guys can see, across the county, there was 93% of vacant land sales were cash. 92% are still cash. So again, when you guys have vacant land deals, the majority of them are cash transactions. Very little financing on that. 149 total to 127 total. So we did have a decrease. Sales volume, again, right now, interest rates for investors are high. They don't like that. I mean, we're getting close to the 10%. Construction loans, high right now, 8-9%, creates this here. Again, if people got to pay more money, they're pulling back on wanting to build. So 30% change in vacant land. So again, for you, those of you that have vacant land that's either A, sitting, or B, that you're about to list, make sure you educate the seller. And again, nobody likes surprises. So if you can upfront educate them that, hey, the days on market went from 92 days to 117 days, for a 20% increase, almost a third up, it's going to take more time to sell your property. And again, if they're wanting to test the market, you tell them it's worth 30,000, they say, let's try 45, go ahead and add another 30% at least to this number. But now I'm getting close to my 6 months here, right? So again, I want to educate people up front on managing their expectations. We are really good. I mean, we are the best in the county in this business, but we're not magicians. We can't just magically pull buyers out of hats and everything sells instantly. That is it. Any questions on what you just saw? This will be emailed to you. I'll send a chart on historical interest rates. But any questions on the numbers? Again, there's been certain cities have done very well still, solid. Other places, again, we've seen a decrease. So analyze this stuff, know your market, where your sellers are. A couple other things I want you guys to remember. I've got a good group. If I do not have a headshot picture of you, we are trying to get them for you, but I will not hound you for it. Your face will be a gray background circle on our website and all of that stuff. Your postcards will have a blank spot instead of a picture. I beg you guys to get a headshot done. I know.
So I talked to Justin Graham.
Yep.
He said he would give us a deal. So anybody that's interested, could we do an office email? I was trying to do it, I couldn't figure it out.
I'll send out an office email, but yeah, so Katie reached out to Justin Graham. He's done Elias's shots, Luke shots, Judy shots. So again, very, very nice professional photography. He said he would give us a group rate. What that rate is, I have no idea. I'm assuming it depends on how many people sign up. But we can coordinate and try and get that out if you guys are interested in that platform. But again, it's going to look a lot better if you have one versus not having one. So if you don't want to spend any money on it and you have a picture, send it to us. We can wipe out backgrounds. You know, we can do all that. I can't take away wrinkles and any of that stuff. It's not my forte. Tom, I don't know. But at least we want some pictures. Again, the whole idea right now where real estate is trending to is becoming more personal, more relatable, and a blank space for a picture is the polar opposite of that. So with all that being said, please, please, please think about getting pictures done. For those of you that have no idea, Moxie Mondays have been going on. We just started that. Tom kind of heads that up, but Moxie is an absolute amazing program. I definitely did not do a good job of talking it up. I talked it down probably a little bit too much, but I was frustrated with it. However, just so you guys know, we are paying for Toolkit right now, but that is a temporary thing. So the more of you that get on the Moxie train, the better it's going to be for you when we pull that Toolkit plug. And it will get pulled, I promise you. We're not going to keep both systems because we're currently paying, obviously, our corporate fee on each closing, and we're also paying a monthly fee to keep Toolkit. So please, please, please work on that. It has so many benefits and so many pros versus everything else that we've ever had, but you got to give it a shot. And again, show up Mondays at 9 o'clock. And we're going to continue to dive into each. We did an overview this past Monday, but now we're going to start diving into each and every one of those programs. There'll be repeat classes and all that stuff. But you really, guys, if you want to get focused on Moxie, those of you that want to expand your business, I think it's a really good platform to do that with. Also, Thursday call competitions are going to start back up. And for those of you that have no idea what that is, Thursday we meet. We're probably going to do it at 2 o'clock. In the bullpen back here, I'll have some form of a gift card. You sit down and you call for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. We kind of decide what we want to do. Whoever talks to the most people wins the gift card. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. If you need people to call, I have lists on my desk. So all it's trying to do is get you guys to just get into the habit of just calling people. That will then transition into sphere of influence, past customers, yada, yada, yada. But for right now, it's a very simple, straightforward process. So Thursdays at 2, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we'll have a call competition for those of you that are interested. Deanna, I mean, you've been a part of those things. How did those go for you? Just so I'm not sitting there lying to everybody.
No, actually good. I won the gift card a couple of times.
Yeah. And as far as like business goes, you've got an opportunity.
Always generate.
I would say Deanna's probably at least averaging 1 to 2 per call sheet, at least. It's probably higher than that. And we've had people that also, listings have happened from these call sheets as well because these people have finally decided they're ready. I know, Ryan, you've won a couple of them. You've got some business off them as well. So don't doubt the process. It's definitely generated business. So we want to keep that going. I thought you were going to say something. Thursdays, 2 o'clock, so tomorrow at 2 we will do that. We're working on a couple ideas of having some Moxie competitions just to encourage you guys to keep it going. So we'll keep you in tune with that. We'll probably have something fun for creating websites and different things like that. So we want you guys to be up and front and center with that. Let's switch over to listings, and then I got a couple of things I want to end out on. Yeah, there's still plenty of food, guys. Nobody's gotten up for seconds yet. So
Captivating us.
I was going to say, man, I must be doing an excellent job to keep everybody in their seats.
Wayne, at the very end, may I say something?
Absolutely not. Of course. All right. Time for some rapid fire listings. Randy. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, Inverness Highlands home on 0.44 acres, 1,305 square feet, 264.9.
Yeah, and just recently she said that she will do a $5,000 credit for paint on the inside.
Well, Brandy, while I got you, tell us a little bit more about it.
She's very clean. It's just her there. The lot next door, she has the prices with that lot, but she said if someone doesn't want to buy the lot, then she'll just keep it and, you know, make the house lower.
What's the age of the roof and the AC?
It's newer, I believe 18 and let's see. I don't remember. I believe it's a 2018 for the roof and maybe a 2016 for the AC. No, I think the roof is a 16, the AC is an 18.
Okay, so yeah, guys, do you guys have any of those FHA via USDA buyers in that 250-ish thousand price range? Get with Brandy. This is Crystal. So Crystal is the new agent we were talking about. This is her new listing that she brought as soon as she joined. So almost brand new construction. It has been lived in. It's up in Ocala, 0.44 acres, 2,000 square foot, 330,000. They are wanting to sell this pretty quick. So if you guys have any Marion County buyers or someone looking for that new construction in that relatively good price point, again, $165 or $164 a square foot for almost brand new is pretty darn good. Dan? I see Dan. 3-bed, 2-bath mobile home in Green Acres on 2.44 acres, 1,848 square feet, 225. Deanna?
Okay, so this one is Woodland of Rainbow Springs, 1.01 acres. It's got a lot of potential as far as the roof, the air conditioner, septic drain field. It's clean. It is dated, so it's definitely needs some tender loving care on that point. But it's got a lot of good things about it as far as, you know, the purchase price. Wait, can you just the parcel map? So that is. It's across the street from Rainbow Springs Country Club side.
Just so you can see, there's Denellen moving north of 41. Deanna?
Okay, so the 4 pre-construction homes in Citrus Springs, we've got the 4 of them that we're marketing. We're in the early stages, so probably about 6 months and they'll be finished. But yeah, anybody looking for new construction, we got 4 of them out there right now.
Under $300,000 for a brand new house.
And they will take pre-sales.
Yeah, and they will take pre-sales. And what are the finishes in these?
Oh, as far
Are they doing granite or are they doing for money?
no, it's going to be granite throughout, luxury vinyl throughout. The bathrooms are tile. It's not the tub insert, so it's going to be a very nice home.
Yeah, yeah. So, and again, we're seeing builder grade homes go, I mean, they were listed for very close to this price. So these, I mean, people are going to get a nice house for $299,000 brand new. Again, Deanna's got another one and another one and
4.
another one. Judy, Sunset Terrace.
So we have gotten an offer on this one. We got a financed offer. This is listed at $425. Financed offer at $325, and the seller said, "Thank you, but we're not even going to counter." And then those same folks came back at $375. So I think the expression that comes to my mind is "well played." It's like we have the same story. Yeah. So, but I don't know if this will go through. The nice thing about this, I always say this is like Hermione Granger's purse, you know, because you open it up, it is so big on the inside. It looks like such a little house.
but it's like a whole universe on the inside, because you can see it's like
86 square.
thank you, 86 square feet. It's just a 2-bedroom. It's, it's not a 3-2, it's a 2-3. Everybody's like, is that a typo? But it's actually 3 full baths, and it's 2 bedrooms. So it'll be great, but it will take some money to.
Jenny? Laura? She did sphere? Okay. Let me familiarize myself here real quick. Mobile home on a half acre in Lecanto, 924 square feet, 125,000.
I think she got off on that one.
Did she?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I was trying.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Like there's an offer on it already. Laura again, Heritage Drive in Homosassa. This is 2 acres. Mobile home, 1,362 square feet, excuse me, for 264. This is one of her newer or new mobile homes that she's got going on. It's in Homosassa on just over an acre, 1,800 square foot, 269.9. And again, these mobile homes are brand new. So they are very nice.
They're also selling.
Another one. Lori?
New construction in the back of the Highlands. 3-2, vinyl plank flooring.
That modern farmhouse look.
Yep, carpet in bedrooms on this one. This one has quartz counters. A little bit smaller lot though. This is a third of an acre instead of a half. They're very motivated. It should be totally done within the week.
Very nice. Very buyers. Lawanda, Tennyson.
This is a 3-2 pool home. It's on 0.83 of an acre. So the house there is on, they had gotten the lots next to it. So if somebody doesn't want that much property, the lot beside it is all wooded, so it can be separated into another side if somebody wants to build for their children or their mother or whatever. That's a good opportunity. Or if they just don't want as much property, they could always separate it.
Very nice. Linda, are you on with us? All right, Black Diamond.
Yep.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, it's a home that is probably a little overpriced, but the owner of the home passed away. This is his family's trying to sell it, and they're not being realistic about the prices quite yet. But it's a nice home. It's got a living room, family room. It's a nice location. The house is gently lived in. He was a single person all the years he owned it, and he was a snowbird for most of his life. And it's in really good shape. And again, it's a nice location, nice hot tub, and a brand new air conditioner.
Okay. Again, if you guys have someone thinking Black Diamond's where they want to be, get with Linda.
Okay. Thanks.
Luke? This Robin Hood Road, waterfront property, 2,600 square feet with a private pool on 0.83 acres for $550,000. So again, if you guys have a waterfront buyer looking, this is a nice piece of property and a very nice home. Okay, let me see if I can show you guys some water pictures. There you go. That's what they're getting. This is off of Robin Hood. So 44 Little John turns into Robin Hood when you round it. Mark, are you online? All right. Hickory Hills, this is Beach Circle. So Mark did send this out. We had it as a pre-listing deal. He has been getting some interest, but this is a 2-2 in Inverness, 1,372 square feet, waterfront home for $290,000. Again, you've got nice water there. With a boat dock, ready to go. Nick, you with us? All right, this is down in Floral City, Kimberly Circle on 2 acres, 1,558 square feet. I'm gonna stop and do a little bit of an education moment on this one. So, let me see if this works on this one. Okay. So for everybody to see, this is the canal on the outside here that runs to the lakes and the river, mainly the river. You'd have an airboat for the lake, but the property is here. There is a section, and actually it'll probably be easier if I do it this way. For everybody online too, this part right here is water. However, there is a land bridge right here that blocks this pond from getting to the canal that accesses the river. Now, this gentleman here does not like people going over his land bridge. He also, however, has documentation from the state that says this is not navigable waterway, meaning riparian rights do not apply. You don't just magically have access to go into this water. Again, also, if you look, everybody's lot here, so he owns part of the pond, this person owns part of the pond, this person and the one that we're selling actually own part of this pond because it is considered, again, I'm calling it a pond, the state called it one thing, they call it another thing. Lots of crazy words being thrown around. But at the end of the day, this is a landlocked body of water, which again will affect the value of said property. And there's disagreements going on between these two people, which we are staying out of. When we've had this guy call us, obviously we're representing the seller here. We're not getting in the middle of a legal battle between these two people. What we're doing is advertising what we know it to be, and that's it. It is waterfront, yes. However, it does not have access to the Withlacoochee River, direct access. Not the case.
Water on a pond, wouldn't you? That's all it is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, it's a piece of property with a pond. It is waterfront per the MLS definition of what waterfront is. But we're not advertising it as you have access to the Withlacoochee River. That gets us in trouble. That's false advertising. So that's why I just wanted to go into a little bit of detail on that one. With all that being said, if you have someone interested in 2 acres in Floral City with a very nice home, 1,558 square feet, please see Nick Leftis. Pat? Colbert Court?
Okay. It is a nice B2. They are anxious to sell it. They're a little bit over their market value at the moment, so they do need to reduce. They're a little reluctant to do that, but it is a nice house. They will entertain an offer and great big one.
And that brings up a great point, guys. If you have buyers right now that are holding off or nervous about making an offer, ask them what offer are they comfortable making right now, and let's see what happens. Again, the times are shifting again, and it will start to transition into a buyer's market again, meaning what? Buyers have more power. They can offer lower up front and see what happens. Now, sellers are probably going to have some short-term memory here where they think they still control everything, and they can say, go kick rocks, and not even giving a counter, which is what we're hearing, but give it a shot. You never know. And again, these people, Pat, they may realize, hey, we're overpriced with an offer that's not $264.9. So, yeah, absolutely. So again, don't shy away from writing up the offer if you have buyers that are wanting to try something out.
Do you think it's realistic with the numbers that you gave us earlier to use that as a way for them to get over that hump for the making that offer?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I mean, in some areas we have seen still the exact same thing. So my number would be within 3% of list price in Inverness right now. However, in Homosassa, we saw a 30% change. Now, again, you have to analyze the actual listing. If it already had a price reduction, then they may be following that trend as well. So that may be within 3% of list price. But absolutely use this information to get your buyers to commit to at least starting to write an offer. Now, I've also seen offers come in. I mean, I know you just got one, half of what it's listed for, right? And that, again, I mean, we'll present it. We'll say, hey, again, anytime I get something like that, I know it's a hard conversation, but you turn around to the seller and say, it is my legal duty to present any and all offers. So here is the offer. You can either A, counter, B, accept, or C, not do anything with it. But I legally have to show it to you.
When I say that, do that at the point of listing so that you don't look like you're prejudicing in the offer. Always say, by law, I am obligated to do this, period. And then when they say it again, when you have a sales contract, they will have been informed and they'll understand it and possibly not hold it against you.
Absolutely. Rita has one here in Arbor Lakes over on Hidden Cove Trail. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,788 square foot for $338,000. Again, guys, if you have someone that's interested in the waterfront idea but doesn't have the $550,000 to spend, Arbor Lakes is a great community that has water access to all of their residents. They've got RV and boat parking as well. They've got shuffleboards. It is a very nice community that's based kind of halfway between Inverness and Ocala. So amenities are not far away either.
It's a nice.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yes.
That was Rita's. Ruthie? Yeah. Over at Angler's Landing, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 959 square foot townhouse, 165,000 or condo. Those of you guys that have somebody looking in that price point, here's looks like a pretty clean, ready, move-in ready unit for someone. That's at 165. See Ruthie. Ryan?
This is a newer home, 2019, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This was a model home, so it's upgraded to the hilt, ceramic tile throughout. This also is a smart home, so everything is, yeah, it doesn't, yeah, there's no value in that above ground pool, even though it's fairly new, but everything is Amazon Alexa enabled, the door locks, the lights, fans, everything. It is overpriced, they know that, but they're testing the market, so bring
Does the
offers.
pool stay even if they?
It'll stay if they want it, yeah.
I mean, if somebody
If
asks.
somebody wants it, yeah. Yeah, it's not even 8 months old, honestly.
Very nice, Ryan. Ryan?
Yeah.
Man of War? Excuse me.
Man of War, she is anxious to sell. This is a huge home, 2,800 living. She does have some farm animals in the house, just,
Pig?
she's got a couple of pigs, but other than that,
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Citrus County. There's nothing wrong with that. Jeez.
but yeah, if you have buyers, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you don't mind a little, it needs some paint, some updating. What's that square footage? $163 a square foot?
Big house.
For a pool home, I mean, that's,
Big house, yeah.
Nice living.
no, you can't even build a home for that, so.
This is Vanessa's. Vanessa, are you online with us? Okay, this is the home over on Rehill Street. I went to this listing appointment with her. This is on 2 acres, 2,363 square foot pool home, 3-bed, 2-bath. Does have a very large detached garage and with a lift in it. Lift will stay.
Sorry, Wayne, I am online.
All right, tell us about it.
Okay, so it is, like Wayne said, 2 acres. It is, somewhat dated. I feel like it could use to be painted. Just depends on what the people want to do with it. But it's been well kept. The pool area is beautiful. We feel like it's a little overpriced, but we would like to see some people come through it and make an offer.
There's the pool area, and that is the detached garage there.
And then there's, excuse me, a carport in the back with a slab. And it has an electric gate. The one lot, side lot is wooded.
Yep. So that's 2 acres in Kensington Estates. So there's not a whole lot of that left out there to where you can get basically the house with an additional lot on
No
it.
big fees. It's only $15 annually there.
Right. So you're close. You're in Citrus Hills without being like really in Citrus Hills. This is Cove Walk. This is a property management property, so if you guys really have any questions, please see Tracy and Cheryl. I'm not an expert on this, but to make sure we don't have any problems with our franchise agreement, I get to list these. Go me. But ultimately, this is a waterfront property, 1,290 square feet, 332,000. This is a ready to go home. Obviously, it's dated, but it's all there, guys. I mean, it's got really good bones. It's very clean. And you guys can see very nice, pretty waterfront, calm. So bring the buyers. 332. Bobby, are you online with us? No. But I'm gonna start talking right now. Yeah, this is up on Silverthorne Loop in Hernando, Quail Run subdivision, 627 square feet on half an acre, 259.9. So you guys have someone interested up in that area. It is a nice subdivision, quiet, ready to go. Anybody else have anything that they need me to pull up? Anything in the works that they want? Right.
1815 Herrick Court, Terra Vista. If anybody's got buyers in Terra Vista, this home is over the top upgrades, tile roof. It was built in 2014. Backup generator, gas fireplace, gas appliances, solar panels, which have been paid for. Scalloped edge countertops, backsplashes, everything. This house is just over the top. Pool.
They've got crown molding on crown molding.
Yeah, it's triple crown. Yeah, tray ceilings.
What part of Ter-
This is Westford Villas. Yeah, so this is a maintenance-free home as well, so you don't have to mow the lawn. They pressure wash the roof and paint the home every 7 years. So, and they are motivated as well. So if anybody's got anybody. It's a beautiful home.
Very nice, Ryan.
544 East Brenner.
7544.
This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot home out there on Lake Salamanca, but it's in the airboat section. So it's called waterfront, but I call it swamp front. But it's nice, quiet area. I've had it under contract twice, and both times the lender failed me.
Who lender?
I don't know who the lender is.
I think it's a boom.
Yeah, boo. Boo. Boo.
One because of commuting distance, and this last time, the lender called the buyers and said, you can't afford that house, even though they were approved for over 300,000. They weren't approved for the monthly payment. So, oh, they're going elsewhere. But it's been on and off, and it's down, she's reduced price twice.
Right.
So she's down at 274 now. She's trying to get sold.
Anybody else?
Can you do the 4911 as South Atwood? Yeah, so this is a house in the Highlands. This is the one that's so renovated and all snazzy on the inside. So it is that house, the lot that you can see is really stuck here, but it is being sold with. So we've had some good activity. Perfect for a family or retirees. You can see that it is, gleaming. They I think maybe tired of my saying, they refinished the terrazzo. but it's really beautiful, so don't forget about it. We have had activity. Hey, Wayne, can you back up one? Show that room with the furniture, just FYI, guys, that is a virtual staging. I paid Admired Images to put that furniture in that room, it doesn't really exist.
It's not real.
So, but, you know, it's good to know if you can do that.
Absolutely.
But don't forget.
Anybody else?
So I know you probably mentioned 6255 Heritage.
Yes.
That actually is a really nice property, and the extra acre, it could be developed, another house to be put on that. They've kept that house nice and neat, first and only owners of that home. The 3-car garage is really nice. I would recommend if you want people that don't want these restrictions, that's a great property, and it's quiet, super peaceful. So.
And while I got you back, Laura, do you want to talk about the Gainey Homes? What was the address on that one?
Oh, is that 16617, I think?
Homosassa Trail.
Homosassa Trail.
6617.
It's Homosassa Trail.
Yep.
It was supposed to be 6617, but we changed the address on it.
That one? Yep.
Yeah,
All right. So tell us a little bit about this one. I went through it really fast because I thought you left.
And I had a listing at one time on Finale Point, so this one is sitting literally on the wheel still. We're gonna block it in and everything, but if anybody looks at Finale Point, you'll see very similar floor plan. This is on 1.9 acres. It's gonna be a beautiful home, but next to that, there's an additional 10 lots, all 1.9 acres. They're doing land home packages, so if somebody doesn't want a home of that size, or they want something different, texture, that kind of thing, they can let me know and we can figure out, you know, what else can be put on those other lots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you go to Marsh Hawk? So this is a really nice lot. I think it's a little overpriced now.
How big is it?
Almost an acre, just under an acre, but it doesn't look like much from the pictures, but a very nice neighborhood, very quiet, awesome place to build a house.
Then like right off.
Very close to Tennis.
What is it?
26, right?
26.
You break it into two?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. All those blocks in there are that size.
So you guys know, there's 581, there's Tris. Keep going this way.
Is that the expensive septic system out there?
Look,
I
yeah,
don't think so, no.
I don't think so. I think you're okay there.
It's nice, it's like it's private back there, it's not a through street.
Yep.
Oh, my houses.
Anybody else? Anybody else working on anything? Things in the works? You got buyers or sellers that are unable to find what they're looking for or do what they're wanting to do?
We're supposed to have a bowl and perk come up on Palm Terrace, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, actually on one of the larger lots, and it's gonna be in the back, and it's gonna be 119, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I believe the HOA is 425 there. They don't really have amenities or anything, but it's a small park, and it's next to Lecanto High School area.
Okay. I've got a buyer who changes his mind what he wants pretty much daily. We started with Crystal River waterfront, and then we went into like airboat territory in Floral City, and then we went and looked at 80 acres in Inverness. So he's all across the board, but if you guys have something unique, this is a unique buyer. He is just looking for something that he can put his toys in. He doesn't want a giant house, single bachelor pad looking concept is what he's going for. Big garage. The bigger the garage, the better. The smaller the house, the better. The more land, the better. So if you guys have anything in the works or know of anything, let me know. I've already sent him, but I'll send him since you've reduced the price. Yours, I don't know if I don't know if it has enough land, but.
Yeah, and it raised it, the 284 mark.
Yeah.
And she dropped 10,000 on her salary.
Yeah. Clive?
Wait, I wanted to mention, my Gulf Harbor path, the 95 Gulf Harbor. So this is a golf course, It's 30 acres. Guys, it's zone plan development residential. That's got a commercial use to it. There's a lot of flexibility here. If you want to put a house there, I mean, I don't think I mean, they're a little negotiable as well. I think it'd be great to put a nice house or someone with a big garage, like you were saying, wanted like a recreation property. Man, they can even go play on 9 holes on their own property and put a nice house up. 850. I mean, that's only 28,000 an acre. And it's cleared. It's maintained like a golf course. I just thought of a residential use if it doesn't sell as commercial. So just keep an eye on it.
So how many houses we can subdivide?
So under plan development residential, you can apply for different types of zoning. Like if you wanted MDR, you get 6 units per acre.
Okay, because I have a client and then her family, maybe like 12 people come over. They are low.
They can do that.
Cash. Yeah, that's when I told them, just buy the big land and then divide 10 acre, 20 acre, whatever. Your family can stay together.
Yeah.
That'd be a compound.
Yeah, it's like my house.
What's the zoning?
It's zone PDR, but it's a conditional use approval for the golf course there.
What about the people that live on the golf course and they're gonna change it into a?
So it's not deeded to the subdivision, so you can pretty much do what you want. Now, what's nice about this property.
You know, your own private golf course, guys.
Well, I did one in Crystal River, so I'm pretty familiar with this. There's enough green space on that property to provide adequate buffers to, because it's in unincorporated Citrus County. So you're going to be able to create the buffers to develop where you need to be. And those wetlands would be on the barrier of that property. Remember that those ponds are man-made. And they're not designated as wetlands. So you could mitigate across the property. And I believe that's part of SWIFMUD, not DEP out there.
Can you do a zoom for the map to see where is the location?
Off of Gospel.
Yeah, I mean,
water and sewage.
It's right off of Highway 44. It's a unique project. If you went for like high density residential, which I don't see why you couldn't, you can get 20 units per acre on it.
Okay.
There's 34.
I mean, just look at it. I mean, it's great access near 75. If there's a big client that want to build a big house, consider it. Consider it.
Do you have water and sewage there?
There is water and sewer.
Oh, water, sewer.
Water and maybe septic. I have to double check my notes.
Yeah, I don't know if there's sewer up.
No, there's city water out there. I don't think there's sewer.
Okay.
Does anybody know what's going on with Wild Palms?
It was purchased by Adams Homes, and they're building a subdivision in there.
Johnny?
Might have me give him permission to talk.
Permission granted.
I just wanted to say a couple of things. Who's been here over 10 years in real estate? Hold your hand up. How about 20? Come on, Pat. You and I are survivors. Ruthie, where are you?
Raise your hand.
Thank you, dear. There's a few of us. How many years? Well, I have
17.
So some of you folks have been here, others haven't. But over the last year or so, I have had the privilege of hearing comments about this house has been on the market for 10 days and it hasn't sold. I've only had 15 offers. What in the world could possibly be wrong? It has to be pricing, or maybe the market's going to crash. Folks, we got a Chicken Little situation on our hands. Everybody know Chicken Little, the little sky is falling? We are going through a normal cycle. I don't want everybody to panic. When you microcosm this and say what happened last month versus what happens this month, it's practically, it's good information, but it's practically meaningless in terms of a total overall picture of what's going on in the market. This is a healthy cycle. It will be good for us. I don't want you to panic. If something lasts over 14 days in the market, or I think now it's all the way up to 21, is that correct?
Depending on where you.
Don't panic. That's a normal thing. The reason we take 6 months listings is what?
Because it takes 6 months.
Because it typically takes 6 months, if what? If you price the property correctly and if you market it correctly. The game has not changed. In fact, it'll improve for us because we're going to see a 2-for-1 sale. We're going to see a buyer's market. We're already starting to see it. The transition is happening, but this is good for us. I see a lot of people really nervous about, oh, this property's a little overpriced. I don't know if it's overpriced or underpriced, but let's not talk negatively about anything. Let's talk about other areas. If you go down south and you come up here, we still have tremendous, tremendous values. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah.
That's why people are coming to Central Florida. It's not just us, it's this whole golden girdle, we call it. So I don't want you to get psyched out by looking at what happened one month to the other. Historically, September and October are slow months anyway. Throw a hurricane on top of it, and guess what? We got a problem. And wouldn't it be logical to see some pushback in price when it's gone up 25, 30% in 1 year? How many years can that happen before we start to say we're not affordable? Oh, but what we are doing is we're catching up to the rest of the market. So I just want to keep it in perspective as to what's really going on. What I'd like you to do is have Wayne and Tom look over the last year or the last 2 years, or go back to 08 when property values crashed by 50%, when a $200,000 home was a $100,000 home. Guess what? Pat Davis lived through it. Ruthie, she lived through it. I lived through it. It's an opportunity. So I don't want you to think that the world is ending. I want you to think this is an opportunity to give us a job. If you go to California, you know what commissions are in California? 1%. You know why? Because they don't need us. They're going to start to need our services again. So I'm kind of excited about I call it a purging. So the real true professionals that are in real estate are going to stay in real estate, and they're going to do well. The people that are here just for a quick buck in and out, you know, those folks are not going to have a job because it's not going to be available. But just keep it in perspective, because I don't want you to get psyched out. We are way ahead of everybody else in terms of what we're doing. We went into it strong. We're going to come out of it strong. And this is just a very healthy purging. Is that something that?
Well, yeah, I want to talk about that real quick. So
That's all I had to say is please don't get upset about something being on the market 14 days. 14 days is abnormal. 14 days is really a problem for us. How in the world could we get on a $500,000 deal, a $30,000 commission, and somebody works for 14 days? They put it on the market, it's sold. They either think you sold it too short, or they think you're grossly overpaid. Has anybody hit that before?
Yeah.
When you go 6 months and you show a house and you might have to show it 10 or 15 times, guess what? That's what we do for a living. You know, don't get nervous about it didn't sell in 14 days and I've only shown it 15 times. That's all going to change, and we're going to see what our job's really about. 12% interest is the break point. I'm on the Capital City board, and we had our big meeting. It's 400 banks get together, the CEO talks, and he said, when we start to see problems in terms of interest rates, it's around 10 to 12%. But up until 10 or 12%, we're still okay. Some of us have lived through Carter, which was 21, 22%. We didn't write but one deal that year, but everything else was what? What do you do if you can't write? You either have cash, and owner financing. So there's ways around everything. So again, we have the knowledge, we have the experience. Take this information and turn it into wisdom so that when you talk, let's not talk about the world ending. Let's talk about the opportunities that we have. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. We are here to stay, and we have the best office in the world, and we have the information which will keep us on top of this game. That's all I want to say. Just let's keep it in perspective.
Right, and just to piggyback on that, Jim, Pat, Ruthie, have you guys ever heard of Open Door before this market that we just had? In your experience of real estate, have you ever heard of Open Door Realty 20 years ago, 30 years ago, anything like that, right? No. They show up when the market's great. This is what their stock has done. So at one point in time, in January 1st, it was $15. And again, I can go back further, it was higher than that. Right now, it's at $1.64. What was it? $950 million loss year to date. Guess where that company is going? We can all wave at them. Century 21 just celebrated its 50-year anniversary. Jim has been here for 44. We're not going anywhere. So again, what Jim just said, this kind of thing, when you guys are competing with the other brokerages, Open Door is one of those like Mark Spain online brokerages, and they say, you know, if it doesn't sell, we'll buy your house and yada, yada, yada. Well, guess what? That ship sailed. It's gone. And again, Pat, I'm sure you've seen the Open Door copies many, many times. They start, they do well when, again, you can literally put something in MLS and sell it without anything else. And then obviously they go away. And that's, again, we can relate Tropic Shores, no support brokerage where an agent has to pay for everything. Again, when it turns into a buyer's market, the seller's going to want marketing. We provide marketing. You guys additionally add some. These Tropic Shores agents, all they can do is say, hey, we'll do it for a lower commission rate. And again, that is where you guys can stand out from the crowd and really, really hit home on encouraging sellers to list with you, getting all the buyers that you absolutely can, and capturing this market. So just like Jim said, don't look at this as a bad time. Look at this as a good time because, again, realtors and brokerages are going to start dropping like flies. We've been doing it for 44 years, almost 45. We haven't dropped yet. So
It really is an opportunity for us, but please don't be negative either. Don't say the world is ending because nobody wants to do business with a negative person. We can be realistic and we can be positive, but I hate to hear people say, well, the house is overpriced or this is wrong or that is wrong. Don't talk like that. What we have is what we have and we have to deal with it. So no negativism, be positive. We will offer the services and the backing. Remember, it's predicated on two things, pricing and marketing. You got to price it right. You got to market it right. The game is the same. Prospect, present, get listings. If we own every listing in the county, we'll make every sale in the county, and that's the goal. That's all you have to do, folks. It's not complicated. Prospect, present, get listings. Just get them priced right.
Wayne, I just emailed you something I wanted you to pull up real quick. Kind of piggybacks off what you just were talking about. So there's one under that one that's pretty simple for people to understand. And Jim, you could probably talk on this. You know, we were in that recovery phase and then we went through, you know, the expansion phase and then we're kind of peaking out and supply is going up. Knowing where you guys are kind of at in general really helps you carry those sales conversations. And you can share that with a lot of people here. We're going to hyper supply. So what happens in hyper supply? Prices start dropping. Fortunately, if you look at the overall housing market and demand for housing, it's still plentiful. We're, as a country, we are severely underhoused. More people are being birthed. So it's just going to keep going forward. So I think it's just a good.
Well, wait, let me add on that. The anomaly of this thing is in Central Florida where we are, there is no inventory down south there. If it is, it's so expensive, people can't afford it. You come up here, everybody should know this, but how many lots do we have shovel ready to build today in this county?
50,000.
At least 50 to 60,000 lots, platted, recorded, you can pull a permit today. That gives us a huge advantage, and it's going to be a bit of an anomaly because we have never, in my 40 years, 45 years, we've never seen a depression. We've seen the market stops, it rests, it pauses. It may go down a little, but it'll never crash like we've seen in California, we've seen in Texas, we've seen down south. So you can rest assured, we're going to continue to see the growth here. What about that hurricane down in Charlotte Harbor? You know how many people that's shoving up our way? Mm-hmm. The first to come are the homeless. They're in the woods. The rest of the come are because they don't have homes, are coming up to buy homes. And that's why there's going to be a continued shortage of housing in this, and the big boys have come in. I don't know, do you know some of the bigger?
I mean, we got a lot of the bigger boys moving in. They're going to really be a competitor to the local house builder, D.R. Horton, Adams.
Lennar.
Lennar is coming in a big way because they build a very affordable product. And the supply is great for your buyers that have been waiting.
But this is not going to be a 5-year lag. This is going to happen right now, and that's what's going to insulate us from a huge problem. As long as you stay positive and you know what's going on and you have marketing and you have pricing, we'll do well. We'll do a whole lot better than we've done in the past, only because it's been a giveaway program up until the last 5 years.
Well, Jim, people need your help when the market's going down. They think they don't need you when the market's going up and everyone's excited and they think that you basically just get them to sign a listing agreement and it sells. You know, when we were going through that transition I came in right at the end of, you know, the hype of the market. I think it was probably like the first 2 months. We saw that recovery phase and then we went into that recession and it was just terrible. But I just found that people are going to need us more. People are going to need us more than ever. Pat, you've seen it. Yeah, you were right there battling with everybody through those prices.
I'm in our meeting.
So
Can I call you back?
I just think it's, like Jim said, there's a deal in every market, and I think it's just a conversation that people need to start having on the quality of the market too. Because everyone thinks everything is great right now. I'm not talking doom and gloom, I'm just giving them the reality. Maybe that's wrong, I just wanted to share that because
No,
it gives you a
and
visual perspective of where we're at.
last thing I want to talk about, we're talking about prospecting and presenting. Ryan came into this market where there was a good bit of expireds, and that's ultimately where he thrived. Expireds and for sale by owners. Guess what's coming back? Expireds, canceled, all that. So every day, if you guys want a prospecting list, there's the start of it. I have access to Stellar MLS, so I can give you expireds from Stellar as well if you want it. Again, Zillow has for sale by owners. That for sale by owners are going to be the first people that need the most help in this time now. They are not getting the market. They are not getting the exposure. So if you guys are not prospecting these things, time to get on board and start doing it. Alrighty?
Wayne, how are we doing on our goal, even though your goal is pretty unreasonable?
Okay, so we'll talk about goals because we also want you guys to start thinking about, next year's goals too. But I originally set the goal at 300 million when the market was screaming and whatnot and still doing great. Once it kind of started to taper off, I said, all right, let's try and beat last year's goal. So if we close the year out doing well, we don't have an October, if we have basically what we've done the rest of the year, we will hit our goal of doing more than 265 million. So I need everybody to just keep it in gear, keep pushing through. Again, October, I am saying, was because of the hurricane and all of those factors is why. I don't think this market is done. I think there's lots of opportunity. I think you guys saw, excuse me, in a lot of areas, things are still moving very good. But
You choke on your words.
yeah, right. I ultimately want to hit that goal. With all that being said, we did hit our AGC goal last week. So we did hit that 2100 club goal again. We did 6.6 million in AGC. So thank you guys all for helping us achieve that. So now second year in a row that we've been able to achieve that. So great job.
Standings with Century 21?
Yeah.
I mean, this is something you gotta keep your eye on because this is indicative of what's happening in the state of Florida. I mean, I know we're good, but I tell you what, we're always ranking high and that's really important. And
I'm just
something
gonna
you
use yours. You have access to the rankings, right?
Why not?
So as far as units go in offices, we are still the #1 office in the state when it comes to units. And AGC, I believe we are second to one other office. So commissions in, we are second. So yeah, I mean, guys, we're doing great. I know Elias is second in the state as far as AGC in. Danya Perry, we'll teach you to silence your phone.
Sorry.
So can we get something
Who's got
regarding, maybe a flyer on the number
Scott,
one
are you here?
brokerage in the state of Florida?
I'm sorry, I got so distracted there. Go ahead.
So can we do something in, like to our presentation regarding where we are at in the state of Florida?
Sure.
That when we're tapping into like Marion County?
But you're talking about something that looks
right,
more
so-
impressive than just.
Well, so I have access to the state Century 21 only. So if you're trying to compete against Marion County, I don't have a ranking report that shows me business from Marion.
But still, we're #1 in the state of Florida.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Everybody else.
In little old Inverness, Florida, podunk you, we're nowhere, but yet we're #1. I mean, for God's sakes.
Hey, no negativity.
Incredible. It isn't negative. You don't want to kick someone.
Call my hometown Podunk.
Feel like a boss hog.
So if we look offices, state of Florida in units, like I said, we sit #1, 880.5 units done.
Awesome.
Now, shouldn't that be in every presentation you make, just saying who we are? We're not just little old Inverness, Florida. This is the state of Florida, right?
Now, yeah. So if we want to go national, all Century 21s in the nation, or units, we sit 15th in the nation.
Wow. Oh,
And how
better
many
than last year.
offices are in the nation?
I don't know, a lot.
Well, there's total Worldwide, there's 1,700.
Right. And majority of them are gonna be in
Like,
states.
I think there's like 25.
Right, right. But in the nation, as far as deals closed, deals sold, we're 15th in the nation. So that's something for you guys all to be very proud of. Again, share it. I will send these out. So you guys have them. I wish they looked a little bit prettier. Maybe Tom, we can work on making these look a little prettier somehow, some way. Yeah.
That's what you're saying, have
Yeah,
something that looks a little bit nicer to kind of
Yep. Yep.
highlight us.
But I mean, even in the state of Florida, I mean, that's pretty powerful.
Absolutely. I agree.
Well, if you have access to Stellar, can't you pull up a report similar to what you do in our MLS showing who the top office is in various counties?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So what I found with Stellar, yes, I can pull numbers, but the way that they compile those numbers is drastically different. So they don't do just regular sales volume. They break it up into categories with teams and all of that stuff. So I'm working on trying to understand it. But there was like the last time I pulled an agent one, there was one agent that had $300 million in sales volume. And I was like, how does that work? And then I dove in. It's a team of like 40 something people or something like that. So it was right. So again, just trying to decipher it all. It's not as nice and easy as ours, but ours doesn't do teams at all. Obviously, we found out. So we can't do teams on our ranking. But yes, I will work on Stellar's ranking system, but the reports are they're not easy to understand.
Okay, well, just what I was thinking, to Deanna's point, is if you could pull up, like if we're number one in sales volume or number one in units in the state or even in this county, then compare it to Marion County's top producing people.
Right, right. Yeah, I'll absolutely try. The only thing that we got to remember too, when we do units here, that 880 and a half, that's Century 21 award units, which is different. Like if we look at our MLS ranking report, we've actually done more deals than that already. Because Century 21 doesn't consider if you get less than a $250 commission on a deal, that doesn't count as a unit. So obviously the numbers are skewed as well. So
Yeah.
this doesn't look as good when you look at the actual number compared to an MLS ranking. This looks good when we just talk about where we rank.
Yeah, because this one we compare Senate 21 to Senate 21, not Senate 21 to Remax. Because this one we just talk about the whole nation of the Senate 21 office only. Yeah, if we compete with another Senate 21, then just, hey, we are number one. But, like different office, like different number.
Yeah. Oh, and I say all this because I want you guys to be able to be honest with this stuff. Again, we are 15th in the nation, Century 21. I don't know where we stack in the nation
with the
whole real estate business. I have no idea. But 15th in the nation in all of Century 21.
That's very good.
Right.
I mean, branding is extremely important. We're going to have classes on branding. But, the value of Coca-Cola, for instance, if you burned every plant, if you busted every bottle, would be billions and billions of dollars because people drink Coke and they know what it is. Does everybody know what our marketing is? Right up with Coca-Cola. What is our branding? Does anybody know the percentage of knowledge? People,
98% brand
it's
recognition.
between 95 and 97, the last I checked.
Yeah.
So our branding alone is worth its weight in gold. And if you know these things, what does that do? That drives business to us and it also helps us sell.
That's the reason a lot of people contact us directly.
Absolutely. We have a very positive image out there. We're known as a solid company. We're not a garage broker that pays $200 for a listing and takes the 100% of the commission. We have a reason to exist, and it's a good reason in a market that we've been in. Quite frankly, you don't need it as much as you would in a bad market. So a buyer's market is where we make our money. Not only do we make our money in our sales because nobody else is doing it, but it's an investment opportunity, which is another thing that we need to sit down and talk about, because I don't want you to put in 20, 30 years and not be wealthy coming out the other end because you haven't made real estate investments. The two reasons to be in real estate, it's number one, make a living, number two, make investments for retirement. We got to get into that too, because not enough people are taking advantage of that, and you're in the crow's nest regarding opportunities to retire with a good retirement as well. So that'll all be fun. I'd love to do it with you this year.
Something to talk about too, just the branding side of things. We close more leads from Century21.com than we do Realtor or Zillow. So again, when you're competing against someone that says, well, we put it on Zillow, and they don't have something like Century21.com, just know we close more deals off Century21.com leads, which are free. We'll put that in quotes because we obviously pay a franchise fee, versus the leads we pay for on Zillow and Realtor. So again, when you're going up against Tropic Shores or whoever else that doesn't have name recognition like we do, that's an angle that relates to a seller directly. More leads get closed from our Century 21 website than they do from Zillow and Realtor.
You know what's nice is that they prefer our website. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They prefer our brand.
Yeah.
And people come to us because we are Century 21.
Yeah. Zillow's not great. I mean, I get sellers that are unhappy with Zillow on a weekly basis, but it's the monster that was created. Now, do I think Century21.com is much better? Absolutely. Do I want you guys to promote Century21.com? Absolutely. But again, it's educating people on that as well.
One last word, and I keep my mouth shut. I hope we appreciate what we have in Wayne and Tom and all of you as a group. There's synergism in this room. There's synergism out there in cyberspace, the rest of you out there and by phone. It's really cool to see people bring in food, to have camaraderie, to share and help each other with their real estate problems. And these guys, I can tell you, brought us to a next level and will continue on to grow and go. So I hope we all can appreciate what we have here. We are a winning team and we're going to keep that way.
Absolutely.
Yep.
One more thing I can add it on. I have the best breakfast like today. Because, I don't have to like look at a family. We got a lot of food and
Right.
very,
You guys
keep a
need to
family.
keep eating all day. Today is cheat day upon cheat day. So thank you guys, and I love seeing both. I mean, Pat's been here, so Ruthie, you guys have been here. Brand new agents in here. This is what I like to see. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Lynn. Good job.
How about